2023 is almost over. We know you're looking forward to travel in 2024, and so are we. And that's why we have the window seat top 24 destinations for 2024. We'll do these in alphabetical order and start with Auckland, New Zealand. The Kiwi city is surrounded by natural beauty, and that natural beauty is likely why you'd head to New Zealand. There's a lot of outdoor adventures nearby, but combine all that with the vibrant dining and shopping scene of Auckland, and you really can accomplish a lot in one visit. Next up, one of our favorite places in Europe, Basque Country. This is southwest France and northwest Spain, and this could really be on the list every year. San Sebastian will get a lot of attention.
The beach is really nice.
Yes. As it should, with its beautiful coast, and the food scene is just legendary.
Yeah, no, it's great.
But 45 minutes up the coast is Biarritz. It's known among those in Europe, but the word is getting out everywhere else.
Look at that.
It's like the jug.
There's like a restaurant right down there on the rock.
That's cool.
It's got charm, elegance, and a crazy cool surf scene. There's a reason why tourism is picking back up here. We visited back in 2022 and loved every second of it.
Really nice. Crazy.
Let's head to the southern hemisphere and Cape Town, South Africa. From the beautiful beaches to Table Mountain to the wildlife to the Cape of Good Hope to heading out to wine country, this is a must-visit bucket list type location. Not a whole lot more needs to be said on why you should head here. The Denmark capital of Copenhagen is seriously one of the most underrated cities in Europe. Denmark is routinely near the very top of the happiest places to live on Earth for a reason. And you can see it for yourself if you visit. The people are super friendly, the food and drink are fantastic, it's home to a couple of the best restaurants in the world, the craft beer scene is incredible for those who participate, and this is before we even mention the touristy things to see and do. Newhound, Tivoli, the palaces, the list goes on.
Hard to find a time of day when this neighborhood is not busy. It seems like there is a crowd of people round the clock, but that's okay.
It's not the cheapest spot, but it needs to be a spot on your itinerary. And we've been multiple times and still want to go back many more.
Can't beat it.
Next we head to South America and Cusco, Peru. Cusco is often home base for Machu Picchu travelers, but the city itself has a lot to offer beyond that. The old town is just a great place to explore. There's so much to see and do, plus it's so affordable, if that matters to you.
Absolutely beautiful. A lot of very old historic architecture around this place.
Back over in Europe, let's go to Edinburgh, Scotland. Ask anyone who's been to the Scottish capital city and they will not only speak highly of it, but they will rave about it. There's so much to see and experience here. We can't spend that much time on it, but we're going here in 2024 and we'll show you that in an episode of Window Seat on what this place has to offer. If you're looking for places to go in the States, go to Glacier National Park. This is one of the prettiest places you will ever see, and it is just massive. This 1,500 square mile park has 700 miles of hiking trails. The Rocky Mountains are beautiful. We know, we live in Colorado. But this park in Montana needs to be on your list. Heading down south, Guatemala is our next stop. You hear a lot about its neighbor Costa Rica, but think more about Guatemala. This place has a growing popularity amongst tourists for a reason. There's a lot more to do than you might think, from the archaeological sites, the gorgeous coastline, to the museums, and the hospitality is fantastic. If you like fun and affordability, think Guatemala. Next up, we want to mention Hawaii. Look, we know about the fires last year in Maui, but they want tourists back, and we want to support them. Take some time in Kauai or Honolulu or the Big Island, and then head to Maui. Let's help bring them back. Back in South America, Augua Falls needs to be on your list. Make your choice between Argentina and Brazil as your base. Either work, but then get to the falls.
We're excited. definitely excited.
These things are incredible. More water pours through these falls than Victoria Falls, which gets a lot more love.
Look down into the abyss where you can't even see to the bottom.
We went last year and found it to be absolutely incredible. We really can't say enough about coming here. The views will take your breath away, and the nearby Brazilian steakhouses will fill any food needs you have.
I don't know what's in the water, but it tastes kind of sweet. I guess that's how they do river water in Brazil, but it's amazing.
Over in India, you need to check out Jaipur. The Pink City is what many people think about when they think Jaipur, but it's so much more than that. It's got great bazaars, forts, temples, palaces, you name it. The Jal Mahal, or Water Palace, is a must-see. There's a rich history to explore in this beautiful city, plus a number of luxury hotels if you feel the need to be pampered. Next up, Kuala Lumpur. Nearby Singapore gets a lot of attention, but Kuala Lumpur is very, very worth your time. You've probably seen the Petronas Towers or Batu Caves on your social media feed, but there's a lot more than that. Plus, they just opened the Warisan Merdeka Tower, now the second tallest building in the world. The sky is truly the limit for the adventure to be had here. Let's head to Luxor, Egypt for some ancient history. Whether you take a cruise on the Nile or just want to visit this northern African jewel, you need to see Luxor. This is the classic Egyptian history you really want to see. It's the home to many of Egypt's most famous temples, tombs, and monuments. History buffs can go nuts on a visit here. If you need a more tropical spot, look at Mauritius. It's beautiful, it's remote, it's everything you want if you're looking to get away on a beach vacation. We know it's far away, but it's worth your time and money. The country is growing again when it comes to tourism. And if it's any indication, the most historic hotels just had major renovations. They're getting ready for you. Next is a place you've probably heard of, Mexico City. This massive city in Mexico sits at an elevation of 7,300 feet, and it towers above the more popular beach destinations. This is one of the best cities to eat in the world. Period. Don't believe me? Go yourself and find out. And when you're not devouring the delicious food, there's clearly a ton of history and culture to take in. French Canada is always fun, and that's why we put Montreal on the list. Even if it's just a long weekend from the US, you can find plenty to do. The French culture is always an interesting aspect to this beautiful city. Plenty of museums can also be found in Quebec's largest city. Combine that with vibrant nightlife and restaurant scene, and you've got a top-notch destination. Now this is probably the most obvious one on the list, Paris. Now this could be on the list every year. It's my favorite city in the world. The food, the attractions, the vibe, all amazing. But they're hosting the Summer Olympics this year for the first time in 100 years. Yes, that can mean some more crowds, but it also brings an extra atmosphere that will be really cool. So to see that throughout the city will be something special. Add that to the culture it brings, and it's just a must visit. Looking south, we love ourselves Quito, Ecuador. This city is truly amazing. We got to experience it firsthand last year.
And you can definitely tell that religion plays a big role here in Quito.
It's a growing place, both economically and in popularity for tourists. The skyline keeps getting better, and they just opened a brand new metro system to get around at the end of 2023. There's a bunch of new hotels and restaurants coming in. Plus, the city itself goes out of their way to help tourists.
Very mindful of tourists here. You kind of have to appreciate it. Like, we're walking around with cameras here, and we even had like the tourist police. They actually have tourist police who come up to you and say, be very careful holding your camera up, and if you are, because someone might come snatch it. These are things we've kind of heard a lot of from different folks, but to actually have like a tourism police force actually come and tell you that, it's kind of interesting, and it's very helpful in many ways.
Can't say that about many places. On the far east end of Europe is Riga, Latvia. The Latvian capital is a blend of old and new. Old Town has a little magic to it. The House of the Blackheads stand out in this Baltic nation. There's a lot of great food and bars to check out while roaming through town. We were actually here when COVID shut the world down, and it was still lively then. If you're in Eastern Europe, find a few days to spend in Riga. It'll be one of your favorites after that.
Pretty sure you can get pretty much anything you want on this street. It certainly seems pretty decadent.
Yeah, Jeremy just got back from our next destination, Siem Reap, Cambodia. This vibrant city is known for its unreal temples and attractions, but also just opened a brand new airport to welcome tourists.
Just arrived at the newest airport in the world. It literally had been open about 2 days before I showed up here.
Jeremy got to be one of the first people through it. Check out this episode of Window Seat if you want to see that.
It is quiet, it's peaceful, it's serene, and it's fantastic. I did not expect this.
Next is a place we just love, Slovenia. Yes, you've probably seen pictures of Lake Bled all over your social media feed. And yes, it's awesome. But there's just so much more. Ljubljana is a very cool and chill capital city. Or you can bike trek through the mountains, take a number of other outdoor adventures. Seriously, it's all just kind of amazing. Now, we want to talk about Sri Lanka. Yeah, that little island off the coast of India. After some political instability back in 2022, tourism here is very much on the upswing. You like elephants, whale watching, wine, pristine beaches, ancient cities and good food? If so, you'll love this place. Have you ever thought about going to Wales? Look, we know Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have Wrexham on some of your minds, and that's cool, go see it. But also make sure you see Cardiff. We were just there, and it's absolutely worth your time. There's a lot of great castles, shopping, food.
Yeah. What do you think of it? It's good.
Give it a shot the next time you're in the UK.
It's a perfect day trip.
Why?
Because it's easy. We basically were able to do everything that we wanted to do right away. We just got off the train, walked, and saw everything.
And lastly, we have Zadar, Croatia. The coastal areas of Split and Dubrovnik might get a little more love, but Zadar is every bit as worthwhile. It'll have less tourists in those spots because it's not on the cruise ship route. Filled with cliffs, coves, beautiful coastline, and ancient Roman streets, it'll take your heart. It brings the beauty of those other locations with a more off the beaten path feel. So there you have it, our top 24 destinations for 2024. And if you have a destination that you think we need to hit, leave that in the comments below. And if you could do us a favor and hit like or subscribe so you can follow us on our journey to visit every country on the planet. We'll be back next week with another video. Until then, see you next time.